Communication is not just a skill, it is a bridge between your ideas and your impact. And if you don't learn to master communications, then you will risk getting left behind. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you how do you turn your articulation into compensation so that you can elevate faster through effective communication. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to share with you 2 principles, 3 practica and 3 perspective shifts. So let's go. Principle number 1. Articulation equals elevation. What does that mean? It means that when you learn to articulate effectively, articulate your ideas, articulate your thoughts, articulate what's clear inside your head, then it allows you to elevate faster. And this is true whether in business relationships, personal relationships, or life relationships. So why is that true? There's 2 reasons why articulation equals elevation. Here's the first reason why. The first reason is because communication is the highest level of value in the marketplace. It's a higher level of value than implementation. It's also a higher level of value than unification, which is the management of other people or the management of projects or processes or systems. Communication is a higher level of value than those because the marketplace values people who communicate well. The marketplace values great communicators who motivate others, who share their ideas effectively, who are thoughtful when they express themselves. The marketplace values that, so it makes communication a higher level of value than working with the skill of your hand, with manual labor, or doing projects well. Communication is a higher level of value. That is the first reason why articulation equals elevation. The second reason why is because remember, at the beginning of this content, I said that if you don't master communication, you risk getting left behind because communication is not just the skill, it's the bridge between your ideas and your impact. Remember I said that. So what do I mean? Communication is really, literally the bridge between your ideas and your impact. Ideas are in your head. Now, you may be very clear on what your idea is because you've been thinking about it, you've been interacting with it internally, and you know what your idea is. But isn't it true that you can have a very good idea, you believe you have a very good idea, and you're very clear what it is, but the moment you try to explain it or express that to somebody else, they just don't get it. Have you ever had that experience? Why? Because your ideas are not useful to somebody or valuable to somebody until they can interact with it in their heads as much or as well as you interact with it in yours. And the only way to get your idea out there so others can interact with it and do something with it is through words. When your words work wonders to increase their understanding, when your words work wonders to create a feeling in them, when your words work wonders to shift their perspective to see the same things you do, then you are effective. And this is especially important if you are desiring to have more impact, because ideas, although you can have ideas alone and by yourself, you cannot make impact alone and by yourself, because impact depends on what you've created for another person or other people. That's the definition of impact. It's got to impact somebody. And the way to do that is with words. So that is why, that's the second reason why articulation equals elevation. Principle number 2, clarity creates confidence. And this is really important because if you look at the superpower of communication, if you're a great communicator, you have these 3 superpowers. You have clarity, you have confidence, and you have conviction. And it really is in that order because the first one is clarity. If you have clarity, it means that I know what I mean. And through the effectiveness of my words, I have effectively conveyed my meaning such that my audience who is listening to my words, they have now received the meaning that I intended to convey. Then therefore you have clarity. And when you can consistently do that and communicate effectively that way in the conveyance of that clarity, then it creates confidence because you can see the outcome of having that effective communication. You can see that as a real and definitive and measurable outcome. And that creates confidence in your skills. It creates confidence in your ability to influence people. And it creates confidence in your ability to continue to create that level of impact. So clarity creates confidence. And remember, the third superpower of effective communication is conviction. Conviction means this. It means you may not agree with what I say, And you may not like everything I've said, but you will never disagree that I believe in what I'm saying. That is conviction. It is a willingness to say what you mean from your authentic self, with nothing to prove, nothing to fear, nothing to hide. And this is a superpower of communication. So clarity creates confidence. Now let's move on to the 3 practica. And a practica is the plural for practicum, by the way. Think about it as practices. Right? So here's practicum number 1 is have something thoughtful to say. The key word is thoughtful. Have something thoughtful to say. So thoughtful means with thought. And the more thought that was put into it, the more thoughtful the communication becomes. You see, here is a endemic we have in this world, is that a lot of people have lost the ability to think. And this is especially true with the introduction of AI, where so many people are flocking to all these AI technologies, all these different types of AI softwares, and they are leveraging AI to think for them. And I see this in so many high-level executives, so many aspiring executives as well, when they don't know what to say, they don't know how to say it, so they turn to AI to say it for them, and then they copy-paste what AI recommended because it just sounds so perfect and so polished. And so as a result of that, we're losing the ability to think. Now, it's okay. It is actually quite wise to leverage AI to do the research for you, and to be able to learn things more deeply in a shorter amount of time to create that leverage. But I submit to you, and I recommend, do not offload your thinking to technology. Don't offload that. Don't delegate that. Have something thoughtful to say. It depends on your ability to think. And it depends on your ability to continue to think. Think like a genius, which means it depends on your ability to keep developing your thoughtfulness, to hone mastery of thinking, which is going to be the main doing activity, is thinking. If you're striving to aim higher, then thinking is your doing. Why would you offload that to technology? Develop that, hone that within you, master your ability to think. Think like a genius, but simplify your ideas in a way that your audience can really resonate and understand it. So many people that I work with in my coaching program are college educated, multiple degrees, and they have many, many years of experience. And as a result of that, over the years, because of their specialty, they've collected a lot of jargon, words that are specialized to their technical expertise. And this is what I see a lot, not just in the tech field, but also in banking, also in healthcare. I see this a lot. Intelligent individuals have a harder time conveying their knowledge and conveying their insights to audience members who don't share the same background, because they're so used to using difficult terminologies. They're so used to communicating with people who know the same things or have the same background as them. So think like a genius, but get into the practice of simplifying your complex ideas in ways that serve your audience. Because the most important thing about having something thoughtful to say is to be able to create and allow your audience to have an experience as a result of what you just said. And the more effective you are in your thoughtfulness, and when you convey that thoughtful message, thoughtful words, it creates an experience in your audience, then you will be more effective and you will be more remembered, because people tend to remember experiences more than they remember facts. So that's practica number 1, have something thoughtful to say. Let's say right now, as you're listening to this, that you recognize you're at a critical juncture in your career and in your personal growth. If you are now serious about developing the skill of effective communication, and you are coachable, and you'd like to deepen your understanding and your skill, then I invite you to look beneath this video on the first link. I have an offer for you that I've created as a result of my content to help you develop the skill of effective communication, the skill of managing yourself for effectiveness, and also the skill of being able to handle and navigate the conversation. So if you're serious about developing that skill, or at least deepening your understanding, then click the link below, and I look forward to working with you on the inside. Once you now have something thoughtful to say, the second practica is to say it effectively. Effectively is really the key word. Now, executives who don't communicate effectively are really setting the wrong example. Because one of the most important things about being an effective executive is to communicate effectively, not just putting out messages, not just saying words. You see, having knowledge and being charismatic is not good enough. It's not about that anymore. It's about, are your words effectively creating outcomes? Are your words effectively leading people? Are your words effectively conveying visions? Are your words effectively aligning teams? All of that constitutes effectiveness. So this is why it's important. In order for you to say it effectively, you need to be able to manage yourself for effective communications. You need to be able to manage yourself so that you can communicate effectively. It starts with managing yourself, because effective communications is hard. When you communicate effectively, you might have people who disagree with you. You might have people who verbally disagree with you, or criticize what you just said, or question everything that just came out of your mouth. And as a result of that, you need to be able to manage yourself. Manage your emotions, managing your mindset, managing your limiting beliefs, managing the way that you are, managing the way that you hold yourself in that type of conflict or differences in opinions. There are so many different avenues of managing yourself that I don't even have time to cover it in this video. So this is why it's so important. Saying it effectively starts with your ability to master yourself and manage yourself for effectiveness. So now, 3 practica. The first one, now that you have something thoughtful to say, and the second practica is now you are saying it effectively. The third practica is to say it frequently. And this is really important because practice does not make perfect. Yes, I said it. I didn't make a mistake. Practice does not make perfect. There's a lot of people who say practice makes perfect, but it does not. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice only makes something permanent. And what you're making permanent, what you're practicing, may not be what creates perfection, because if you're practicing all the wrong things, then practice is not making perfect, is it? So it depends on what you're practicing. So this is why it's important to create opportunities to communicate effectively in different contexts. And it involves your creativity to create these opportunities to do so, because oftentimes these opportunities aren't really given to you. So in order for you to be able to say it more frequently, this is your commitment and your dedication with effort and with resilience to be able to create these opportunities. And this is really important because once you know you have the process of having something thoughtful to say, and you're saying it effectively, and you're getting that feedback from life that what you're saying is effective, your communications are effective, now you will be practicing the right things. So the next step is saying it more frequently, which requires you to create those opportunities. So final category, now let's talk about the 3 perspective shifts. The first perspective shift is speak to serve. A lot of people, not everyone, a lot of people that I've interacted with, they desire to speak so that they can be more influential, so that they can be perceived as more intelligent, or so that they can get more influence. Now, and I understand those are worthy pursuits, but you see, speak to serve means that you're not making it about you. Like if I'm creating this YouTube video and all I want is to have influence, all I want is to be famous, then I'm making it about me, you see? But every video that I create, all the content that I pour out on camera for you is for you. I'm speaking to serve. So what does that mean? It means you gotta stop thinking about yourself long enough to be able to understand your audience that you are speaking to. And this is important because so many people, when they get up onto that stage, they want to be interesting and they want to be intelligent. And here's what I say to that. Don't strive to be interesting, because you don't become interesting by trying to be interesting. When I speak to you like this, I'm not trying to be interesting at all. But if you're interested in my content, it's only because I've been interested in this topic long before you. And so I have been studying diligently how to provide the best content out there for this topic. And that's the only reason why I'm interesting to you. So learn from that, what I just shared with you. And the same thing is true with trying to be intelligent. You aren't intelligent simply by trying to be intelligent. If you desire other people to see you as intelligent, then don't try to be intelligent. Try to offer solutions to their problems, valuable solutions. But the only way you can do that is to stop thinking about yourself long enough so that you can deeply be serious about and curious about the problems they have. See, so this is the first perspective, speak to serve. The second perspective shift is this, delight in difference. You see, so many people shy away from their differences or they hide their differences because they've had a very negative experience in childhood where they see their difference as a dysfunction. But I submit to you that your difference is not your dysfunction. Your difference is a gift. And the reason why is because as a result of your difference, you being different from, you've had to overcome challenges tied to that. You've had to overcome a lot of your own limiting beliefs tied to that. And as a result of that, your differences can become your virtue. So here's what I mean. I'll give you a very personal example. When I was in high school, I was the only one in my entire high school, not just my class, but my entire high school who was not Caucasian. So I'm Asian and I have black hair. I was the only person with black hair in my entire school. And as a result of that, I was visibly different. And trust me, my classmates and my schoolmates made sure I knew that I was different. And so can you imagine, I've had to overcome many challenges because of that. And the way that I overcame my challenges was, well, if they were not accepting of me because I was different, what did that mean? It meant I didn't have very many friends because I was teased and bullied for being different. And it's true, I was different. I couldn't deny it. I couldn't change it. And so as a result of that, not having any friends, which means I didn't get invited to parties. I didn't get invited to weekend hangouts. So what did I do? I stayed home and I studied. And that developed my studious qualities. And it also developed my interest in studying and in academic pursuits because I saw the benefit of that. And I have benefited from that every decade of my life. So now that difference has become my virtue. I've learned to embrace that difference, not as a dysfunction, but I've learned to embrace it and be grateful for it because of the gift that it has given me. So you see, your difference is your gift as well, and it is not a dysfunction. So delight in your difference and see how the virtue that has come out of it is serving you and continues to serve you if you choose to let it. Delight in difference. The third perspective shift is appeal with authenticity. Now, if you were in my coaching program, you hear me talk very often in my modules on communication. I always use the word authenticity. Authenticity is an important concept to understand because when you're authentic and you show up in your communications, no matter who you are speaking with, you come up with the frame of mind and with your whole self. And it is, I have nothing to prove. I have nothing to hide. Here I am. I can be transparent with you. But I also have nothing that I'm fearful of sharing. I have nothing that I'm fearful of telling you. Because this is who I am and I know who I am. That is the essence of authenticity. So appeal with authenticity. Appeal to others with that authentic self. Appeal to their problem-solving needs. Appeal to their needs and wants. Appeal to their desired outcomes. Appeal to those with authenticity. Because when you're authentic, guess what? You don't have to be fearful of them. You don't have to be fearful of them disagreeing with you or criticizing you. You don't have to try to change yourself. You don't have to try to put on a mask or a facade or pretend to be someone you're not. And you don't have to look down on them or to be upset with them. And you can just be one with them. Look across eye to eye with them, face to face with them, and bring your whole self in. So appeal to them with authenticity. And that is the third perspective shift to effective communication.